Hey everybody, this is Major Dave coming back with another video for Star Citizen. This one will be a short guide concerning the Mobiglass and its many features. Let's get right into it. Alright, in order to open up your Mobiglass, you're going to press F1 on the keyboard. And the first screen that you'll see is going to be the main one, of course, where you'll find your personal details on the top left, your username in game, your current balance, your crime stat. This can range from 1 to 5 depending on the atrocities committed in the verse, your vitals, your external atmospheric conditions depending on the planet or moon you find yourself in at that time, your suit status, tracked mission status which relate to any missions you've accepted in the contracts manager, which we will get to later, your vehicle status which pertains to any vehicle you may have with you at that time. On the very bottom left you'll find several icons. These represent the different features in the Mobiglass. On the far right, on the bottom, you'll find redundant information about the suit, as well as your current balance once again. Alright, so the first button is going to be the comm link. And the comm link basically represents all of the communications available in-game. The first button on the top left is the channels button. This is going to display not only the global chat, but any party chat that you may be a part of at that time. The second button will be your friends button, which represents the list of buddies that you have in-game, as well as local sites of interest or points of interest, such as in this case Everest Harbor, which is the station that we are in at the moment. The third button, called Pending, represents any friend request or party invites that you've not yet accepted. Alright, the primary area in the screen is going to be the global chat. This is the server chat, and this is where you're able to interact with anybody that is currently active in the server. In this case, we have 36 members active. And if you want to speak with them through the Mobiglass, you just click on the field down here, type in your message, press send, and it'll appear in the chat. You can interact with the chat in the visor by pressing F12, and F12 will make it toggle on and off from your visor. Pressing enter when you toggle it onto your visor will allow you to type into the chat and speak with global. The members button represents everyone that is in the global chat. If you would like to see different members of different chats, you'll go back to channels, select a different chat. In this case, it would be a party chat, and the members will be represented by those included in that party. If you were to change the channel to the party chat, that would become the main chat in the main screen here in the middle. You can also edit the name of the chat if you'd like to do so. That is entirely up to you. The manage button on the far right is basically just configurations and settings. This is up to you. Some of this setting does involve settings that you will change in the game as well. Alright, moving on, the other button that we have in the screen here in the Mobiglass is the Vehicle Loadout Manager. In this screen, you'll find all of the ships that are available to you in the location that you find yourself in. In this case, we are at Everest Harbor. I currently have 2 ships available to me here, the Crusader Ares Starfighter Inferno and the Ion. In this screen, you're able to upgrade your ship with components that you may have purchased in stores or shops, in stations, or in planetary locations. To see a ship's layout, just click on one of these options. In this case, we'll click on the Ion. An image of the ship will load on the interface in the grid on the right side. You can play with that image as much as you wish in any direction. Sometimes it takes a while for this to load. It depends on the server. On the far left, you'll find systems, paints, and vehicle weapons. These are self-explanatory. In systems, you'll find the coolers, power plants, shield generators, and the quantum drive. These can be upgraded, as I said. If you purchase a better component, it will improve your ship's performance. In this case, if you want to equip that better component, you simply go here, you select cooler. In this case, you have the Arctic cooler. We click unequip. That removes the cooler from our ship. And then if you do have a different option, it would show up underneath this standard stock option of the Arctic cooler. But in this case, we're just going to click back onto this one, which is a stock option, and equip it back into our ship. Down here, once you click on this option, you'll see more details about it. It is a size 2 cooler, it is a grade 3 cooler, and then you have some more information down here, some miscellaneous about this component. The paints represent any color scheme that you may own for the ship. This can be either purchased at the Pledge store, in the Robert Space Industries website, or the main website for Star Citizen, or paints that you bought in-game at stores as well. They're going to show up here in a list just like the systems components. You'll select one of them and equip them onto the ship. For vehicle weapons, it is the same thing. You'll be able to upgrade your missiles, as well as any cannons or anything else you may have in your ship at that time. The Ion being what ship that contains one large cannon, basically, which is the SF-70 cannon that cannot be upgraded or changed because it is basically the build of the ship. But you can upgrade your missiles if you'd like to do that. You can purchase different types of missiles and equip them as you wish. One thing to keep in mind for this screen is that once you've applied all the changes, before exiting the screen, you're going to go to Save, Changes, and Equip and wait until the loadout is saved. If you don't do that, nothing that you did here, no changes will take effect. Please make sure to click Save, Changes, and Equip and wait until the Mobiglass prompts you to exit the screen by telling you that it has been saved. Okay, the third option here is the Knickknacks, or third icon. Knickknacks represents all of your storage locations in the game. In other words, anywhere where you may have items that you purchased or left in Stanton. This is broken down by the planets. You can see here that right now, since you only have Stanton as a system that is available in Star Citizen, that is the only option. Down here you can go through categories, armor, clothing, miscellaneous, paints, etc. This is entirely up to you. Let's look at a couple of these. For example, I do have a lot of items stored at Microtech. So if I click Open, I do have a ship that is currently stored there at the New Babbage Interstellar Spaceport. If I click Open, I can see that I have no items stored on that ship. I'll have to go back to the main menu by clicking Stanton, go to Microtech again. Let's click on New Babbage and see if I have anything stored in there. I do. I have all of these items that are stored in New Babbage. And if I click on one of these, the information about that item will display here on the right side. Knickknacks is basically an inventory screen that tells you where you have your things in case you forget where you stored them. The fourth option or screen is the Skyline or Star Map. This represents the Stanton Star Map, currently available in-game. Here you'll find all of the planets, moons, space stations, and other locations, as well as asteroid belts, etc. You can move the map in any direction by simply clicking the left mouse button and holding it and moving the mouse around. If you want to move the map only in a horizontal plane, you click the right button and you hold it and you move the map around. This moves the map in a 2D space is your only option. Clicking left button again on the mouse and holding it will allow you to move it freely around the space contained on the screen. If I want to zoom in on a specific location on the star map, for example, we'll go into Hurston. You double click on the planet. It zooms into the local system around Hurston, in other words, the orbiting moons. Here we have Ariel, Aberdeen, Ida or Ita, however you pronounce that, and Magda. Again, if I want to zoom into Ariel, I double click on the moon. And here I see some points of interest. HDMS Lathan, HDMS Beztek, which are places that you can land and repair and rearm your ship. Here we have the Comare. If I want to zoom back out, I'm going to double click the right button. It zooms me all the way back out. But one thing I can do as well, if I don't want to zoom all the way back out, is double click again on the planet. I'm sorry, let me back out again. This is not working, which is usually the case with the star map. It is pretty glitchy, so get used to that. But okay, this time it worked. Let's go back to Ariel. So instead of zooming back out all the way, I can use the scroll wheel in my mouse. Scroll wheel down will zoom out slowly. And this allows me to go back into Hurston by clicking the right button and holding and moving in a horizontal plane. I can also do the same thing when I'm zoomed in by clicking the left mouse button and holding it, moving the local system omnidirectionally. If I want to set a route, this can only be done if you're inside of a ship. You cannot set routes if you are not in your ship. If I want to set a route, all I would do is, for example, currently I am at Everest Harbor, so to zoom in without double clicking on the planet, you're going to use your scroll wheel in the mouse and move it upwards or roll it upwards. You see that there are a lot of places of interest at Hurston. Being a planet, there is a lot more to do here. I'm currently at Everest Harbor, which is one of the orbiting stations or the main orbiting station of the planet. If I would like to go to Lorville, which is the main city in Hurston, I would click on Lorville, click Set Route, and a green arrow would appear pointing to the route that I've set. And on the left corner here on the top, you would see that information. But if I wanted to clear that route and go somewhere else, I'd simply press Clear Route, and that would disappear from the map. And then, for example, from Everest Harbor, I could set a route to Ariel by clicking on the moon, clicking Set Route, and I will go to Ariel. At times, the direction to a moon or a different place might be blocked by the planet. In this case, usually the game will automatically calculate a route for you. Sometimes it will not work, it'll be bugged. If it does calculate a route for you, it'll usually take you to an orbital marker. Orbital markers are around the planets in the game and the moons. These allow you to easily navigate around these celestial bodies so you can get to other points of interest. But this is basically the main information about the star map. Again, to zoom back out all the way, double click the right button on your mouse. And if you want to click again somewhere specifically, double click left, it will zoom in. And double click on the right again to zoom back out. This is most of the functions that we have for the star map. This is mainly used for traveling around the system. However, if you want to avoid the star map due to its glitchy nature, which is very, very bugged, you can simply navigate by using the markers on your screen inside of your ship. When you press the letter B to engage your quantum drive, all of the points of interest around you will populate on your screen, and you can simply navigate to them. That is entirely up to you. All right, the next icon is the Mode Trader. The Mode Trader allows you to exchange funds, send funds or receive funds to and from other players in the verse. In this example, we can click Begin. I can search for a friend that is currently in-game or not in-game. In this case, we'll use Space Trucker. My current balance is shown here at the very top. I am sending funds to Space Trucker. I type in the desired amount here. For example, we use 10,000 AUEC. There's currently no other format or currency, so this is the only one available. We'll click Send. There's a 0.5% service fee, and he'll receive that money. And this is also how other players, of course, will send you money via the Mode Trader. Next up is the Contracts Manager tab. This is where you have all of your gameplay loops available for the verse. Under the General tab, you'll find most of the missions that are available, split into categories. You have delivery missions, search, investigation, mercenary, maintenance, bounty hunter, ECN alerts. These pop up every so often. They're sort of lucrative, so if you're just starting in the game and you like to make more money quicker, ECN alerts are a good way to go. Bounty hunter missions are either PvE or PvP. This is entirely up to you. We will not get into details of how this works right now. This is mostly just for Mobiglass. But one thing to keep in mind is that as you work on these missions, you will work on increasing your reputation with a specific faction or a contact. And as such, new missions will open up to you that are more difficult and also more lucrative. In other words, you'll earn more AUEC from doing them. In this case, in my bounty hunter missions, I'm already at HRT bounties or PvE HRT bounties, which are hard bounties. And I am earning around 39,375 AUEC for each one of these missions. If I want to add more money to this, I can go into the Mercenary tab, click a call to arms, accept that offer, and this will give me bonuses for killing any pirates or anyone with crime stat in the Stanton system. Under the Personal tab, we have missions that are provided to us by in-game characters. These are personalities that are spread throughout the system. Once we unlock certain levels, they will contact us and reach out to us. This will appear as a prompt on your visor. You can accept or reject their call for you to act with them or work with them. In this case, we have a generic mission that's available from Star Citizen, which is the Luminalia present delivery, not present. The Accepted tab obviously is self-explanatory. It will show all of the missions that you've accepted so far. If you accept a mission, we'll do one here, just for the sake of an example. We'll go ahead and accept a call to arms. And you can see that it immediately or automatically populates in the accepted tab. You can track it. In this case, since we don't have a specific target, this is a generic mission that just grants you bonuses as you kill enemy ships. You don't have an individual person or entity to track. But if there was an individual entity, or if it was a bounty hunter mission, a PvE bounty hunter mission, you would have a track button that you can click. and a tracking beacon would appear on your visor or within your ship on the HUD, on the HUD display, and you'll be able to see the target and where it is, and you can set a route to it and engage the target. You can also untrack the target. You can abandon the mission should you choose not to go along with it or continue with it. If you do so, your abandonment of the mission will cause you to lose reputation points with the faction or the contact that you are working with at that time. The history represents all of the missions that you've completed. The beacons tab represents any beacons that you'd like to create. For example, if you are downed somewhere within a bunker because an entity killed you, you can create the beacon. You can select the type of beacon. It can be escort, medical assistance, or personal transport. You can select the rep level and the payment amount as well. And once you are done with this, you click broadcast beacon, and this will be broadcast to the global chat, and everybody will have visibility of this, and they can accept it or reject it and come to help you out or assist you in your time of need. The next option is the vehicle maintenance services. This only works, again, if you're inside of a vehicle, inside of a ship, and you have landed onto or into a hangar or a pad in this case. Keeping in mind that pads will be done away with eventually in the game. They want to turn everything into hangars. But for this instance, if you're landed on a pad on a space station and your ship has been damaged due to bounty hunter missions that you've engaged in, if you click F1 into the Mobiglass and you go straight to the repair button, the vehicle maintenance services, this will appear with an AUEC value underneath each of these options. You would simply click on whatever you needed to repair or refuel and click confirm, and then you wait a few minutes and everything will be filled out. You'll be able to see the values increase and the fuel increase as well on the HUD inside of your cockpit. Next up is a journal. We will not get into this too much. Right now this is not very useful in the game, and there's not much of a purpose at this moment. There might be more usefulness to it later on, but right now I don't think we need to cover this. And last but not least, we have the Delphi, however you pronounce this. I believe it is Delphi. This is the reputation system in the game. You have here in the far left the organizations. So in this case, we were talking about bounty hunter missions. You have the Bounty Hunters Guild, the Crusader Security, Herson Security Faction, and North Rock Service Group. As you can see, I've built up quite a reputation with the Bounty Hunters Guild and the Herson Security as well, because most of the bounty hunter missions I've engaged in have been around Herson and its moons. If I were to abandon the missions consecutively, the green dots, which display the built up reputation, would go down. And if I keep abandoning or losing or getting killed, it would eventually go into the red. The context, again, is any individual character in the verse that you've engaged with in terms of selecting or opting to perform a mission for them. As you can see here with Miles Eckhart, he's out of Herson as well. He's Eckhart Security. I've built up a little bit of reputation with him by doing a few missions for him. You see here that the confidence that he has in me as a player and the affinity as well. Again, if you abandon his missions or if you lose his missions, this will go down too. And in the career tab, we'll show details about your level. So you can see here, if I click on Bounty Hunters Guild, I've already passed applicant, probationary guild member, junior guild member, and I'm working towards completing senior guild member. As you go up in these, as I said before, you will unlock more difficult missions with a higher reward. And under this tab, the dossier tab, there is not a lot of information available here. So we will leave this as is for now. This might change in the future. I am not too sure, but clearly this is a placeholder for some other utility that will be launched in a future patch. And if I click the middle button, we'll return to the main screen of the Mobiglass. Everything else is up to you. If you want to learn more about the game itself, log into the verse, have fun, enjoy. Keep in mind, Star Citizen is a very buggy experience, but it is part of the fun as well. Make the best out of it. No need to get frustrated. It is a game after all. Alright guys, one more comment I like to make is that if you're wearing a very thick armor set around your arms, keep in mind that that may block some of the visibility of the Mobiglass once you activate it. Specifically the buttons on the bottom left of the Mobiglass. So if you do have difficulty with it, one easy trick is to just go to inventory and unequip your arms by dragging them into the local inventory temporarily, accessing your Mobiglass, and then putting the armor back on. But that's it. I appreciate you guys watching the video until the end. If you like the content, consider giving it a thumbs up. If you like the channel or you enjoy this stuff, and I'll be putting more of it up here, consider subscribing. Thank you very much. And as always, see you in the verse.